CNN has gone from 0 to Breitbart in 30 seconds. I love this. I fucking love this, dude. When wokeness comes to Middle Earth, why some say diverse casting ruins the new Lord of the Rings series. I love this because they were like, hey, last time, like in the Gamergate era and the lead up, in the build up to like Obama, yeah, a lot of right-wing content creators made a lot of money, and they were like, we need to get in on that shtick. We need to get in on that pretty hard. We can't let Sargon of Akkad make all the money. We got to make that money ourselves. They went from over-the-top pandering and being like, every elf needs to be trans and a person of color, an elf of color, and disabled, to actually, we realize that diversity is our weakness. It's not a strength. And hit the 14 words so quick, it's crazy. I'll just say it like this, okay? I do not give a single flying whether there are black elves or not, okay? It's fake. It's not real. Who cares? Who cares if there are black elves? Why the would you care? Are you out of your mind? As long as the content is good, who gives a shit, okay? I don't understand. Good thread on diversity on shows and how accurate they are. Tyrion Lannister was specifically described as one green eye, one black eye peered out from under a lank fall of hair so blonde it seemed white. There was no outcry when he showed up in the show looking like this. In the Harry Potter books, Ron is tall as the twins. Harry had green and messy hair. Hermione had noticeably large teeth. All mentioned several times and act as plot points. Movie, average height Ron. Neat hair, blue eyes Harry. Average teeth Hermione. No one cared. And the Princess Bride, Vizzini is described as having near angelic face. Movie. Yeah, people take liberties with what they decide to do. They say that there was never a black person on Lord of the Rings. No, I know. I understand that. No, I get that, like, Tolkien intended for it to be mostly an Anglo-Saxon experience devoid of any sort of black person. But ultimately, here's my counter to that, okay? Who cares? Ultimately, though, you can't do just like pandering diversity shit and not actually make the content good, especially when we're in a goddamn content drought. I'm not racist. I just care about historical accuracy. I say about a TV show that includes hobbits and elves. Above my desk hangs a painting of Jesus who looks like Bradley Cooper. Yeah. It's also completely not true. There are POC all throughout the Lord of the Rings universe. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about the actual legitimate, Tolkien fan fiction or the facts of the matter. But the Harfoots, the most numerous of hobbit strains, were also the smallest. They had nut brown skin and hair, nut brown. They loved hill lands and often enjoy the company of dwarves. These Harfoots were the first of the Hobbit to cross over to the Misty Mountains and enter Eriador. Yeah, okay, so here's another thing, okay? These people are just upset that, like, the black and brown representation is not on the evil side. Let's be real. It's just such a weird thing to get mad at, brother. You're crazy. And I think people were mad that, like, there was a female elf too. Like, the main character is, like, now a woman. Of course, unacceptable. Elon said Tolkien is turning in his grave. Wait, stop. You mean to tell me that South African Elon Musk had a take on this where he said it's unacceptable that there are positive black characters and brown characters on the Lord of the Rings baby book? Oh no. This is ruined. Not my favorite book that I read as a kid. No, not my favorite fantasy. No, it's like, dude, chill the fuck out. Calm down. Or was it a debate where he says almost every male character so far is a coward, a jerk, or both? Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. He's like, it's not because of the black characters. It's because of the woman character. People are freaking out about House of Dragons having black people too. Yeah, I mean, dude, hey, newsflash, guys. Black people exist in society. That's crazy. So, like, maybe newer versions of, older works of art are probably going to, reflect that. Because especially when your work of art, well, I mean, I'm not saying George R. Martin's work of art is that old, but, like, sometimes people decide to go a certain way with their representation. It's not not the end of the world. Writing a book can be a very selfish, singular, private matter. You know what I mean? When you do that, You're not going to get a lot of feedback necessarily. It's like almost entirely up to the individual. And for that reason, it can be beautiful. It can really give you a peek into the mind of someone who's truly brilliant, truly creative. It can also lead to shortcomings, like making all the fucking bad characters black and brown. You know what I mean? Like, because your individual blind spots are also going to be represented and reflected in the material. When another creative person and a much larger creative group of individuals get to work and recreate this work of art, they're going to put their own seasoning on it, and it's normal. So that's how it works. I never had to look far for representation of myself, really hot guy in mainstream media, but why would anyone want to take that away from someone else? So bizarre. Yeah. Michael, you and I, we've been represented fairly well. Really hot guys. We've been represented fairly well in media. I don't really get it, I don't really get what these people are complaining about. You know what I'm saying?
While to Men's Health, House of the Dragon's Toussaint, underscoring the absurdity of those objecting. It seems to be very hard for people to swallow. They are happy with a dragon flying, but a rich black guy? That's beyond the pale.
I don't understand. Like, I think the thing I can't comprehend often, this is like low-key a more complicated subject to broach than just like, oh, this is racist and let's move on. Or, oh, diversity is good across the board and let's move on. Obviously, diverse representation is a good thing, right? But the issue is, oftentimes companies will do female Ghostbusters, right? And what do I mean by female Ghostbusters? Most of you immediately picked up on what I was saying, which is, let's take Ghostbusters and just put women in it. Like, let's not do anything. Like, let's not do anything different or new. It's such a hacky and easy way to try to reshape the content. It's such a hacky, it's so performative. Everyone understands what's going on there. And you're just not doing anything. You're recycling IP. People are annoyed when you recycle IP regardless. And they get extra annoyed because, misogyny makes it even additionally annoying for a lot of people, right? So my point always is like, make it good. That's the best way to fucking destroy people. Now, one of the greatest examples of diverse representation, in my opinion, is from a formative work that I love personally called Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, some of you will say there was a live action rendition of that, and to them I say that's not real. That never happened. No one ever shot a Avatar: The Last Airbender live action rendition. I'm talking about the cartoon, right? Avatar: The Last Airbender had brown characters, black characters, leads, you know what I mean? Indigenous characters. Avatar: The Last Airbender did a really decent job, in my opinion, of like having a disabled character. One of the main characters was literally fucking disabled, blind. One of the best characters, Toph, right? And at the time, people were not fucking freaking out about that as much, but I'm pretty sure, and it was an anti-imperialist work, obviously, so that was great. But at the time, people were fucking mad. At the time, no one was mad, sorry. If they'd made Avatar: The Last Airbender now, I feel like a lot of people that get mad about this shit would probably still turn around and be like, blind character? That's bullshit. I'm not watching that. And the diversity is ruining it. Half the cast has to be brown. Get the fuck out of here, right? It's woke SJW cartoon. And it was a woke SJW cartoon, but it was good. Okay? It was a woke SJW cartoon, but it was really fucking good. So if you're gonna, I think like we have disabled people exist in the real world. Black people, brown people exist in the real world. People with different marginalized backgrounds exist in the real world. And having them, in my opinion, be main characters that aren't exclusively there for that purpose is the greatest way to do it. And also on top of that, you need to make sure that, the content is good, right? For example, I think that while the new Game of Thrones is all right, never going to hit like the OG, it's never going to hit like the first, 4 or 5 seasons of Game of Thrones or whatever. It's all right. It's not bad. One of the great parts about it is that there is no like addressing that a character is black. There's black. That's it. It's great. Who cares? They're just like, because guess what? It's fantasy. And in that situation, there need not be any sort of like, there need not be chattel slavery, right? It doesn't have to always address it. It doesn't always have to address that, like, oh, there are black Targaryens. What's that about? We got to talk about this. It's like, no, we don't. Why would we? We straight up do not have to talk about that, right? At all. Well, they're not even Targaryen. They're Valerian, right? So whatever. It doesn't matter. My point is, on that front, I do actually legitimately like the way that they did it on Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? I think that that's fine. It's fantasy. They don't have to address it at all. And the characters are not there specifically to talk about blackness. You see what I'm saying? Or, if you have a disabled character, they're not there to specifically talk about being disabled, right? And what that means to them. And I think that's great. That's normal. That's how it's supposed to be. On top of that, it needs to be good, though. In the books, Tolkien describes Harfoots. We already talked about that. In the Hunger Games books, Rue was described as having dark brown skin and eyes. When a black actress was cast to play the canonically black character, there was enough of an outcry to make several news headlines. That's crazy, but not surprising. Ever since the release of Sandman, Neil Gaiman, the author who has refused any retelling of Sandman until he was absolutely certain it could be told according to his vision, has been battling racist, sexist, transphobic trolls who disagree with his vision. I give all the fucks about the work. I spent 30 years successfully battling bad movies of Sandman. I give zero fucks about people who don't understand and haven't read Sandman whining about non-binary designer or that death isn't white enough. Watch the show and make up your minds. Dude, this is going to hurt, but David Bowie's dead. We knew he wasn't available to play Lucifer any longer. That's why we cast Gwendolyn Christie. A Black Dream. What a great idea. I'll go back in time to success to Neil Gaiman in 1988 right now. I love that the guy who made the art, the guy who made the actual work, people are yelling at him. Like, he's not even fucking dead. He's there. He's tweeting. He's tweeting through it. He's tweeting a defense of whatever the fuck he wrote. What the hell? That's insane. In a world where 99.9% of the actors are sexy white men and women that are cis and het, what's the problem with having a little bit more diversity? I just don't understand it. Why? Why are you so bent is the real question. Bro, it's been too much. It's not little diversity. It's forced in every creative art. What do you mean forced? What do you mean forced? Why is it forced? It's only forced if you find it to be an eyesore or an aberration. You get that, right? That's more of a self-report on your behalf. I've never watched a show and been like, man, it really ruined the vibes for me when I saw a black person on screen. Like, what the fuck is that? Jews have made less diversity, haven't they? What the fuck? I don't understand what is happening in this. What's going on right now? What's happening in my chat right now is a real question. Ultimately, I don't give a shit if every character is black or every character is white or whatever the fuck. We all want fucking good content, okay?